Hey everybody, here doing the question of the week. The question this week is, if you could change something about your childhood, what would it be? Um, I can either make this a really short video or long. I'll try to do something in the middle. But I probably would change nothing about my childhood. Um, my most of my early one memories are from south side of Blue Springs when we lived over on 2220 South Second Street Terrace, and those were great. Lots of friends, lots of kids. It was great. And then we moved to um, over on the north side in Heatherwood, and that's where I would consider my childhood. That was from fourth grade till graduated high school. And that was where we had the Words and the Bovinets and the Watsons and the Colsons and Carl Calcara and Steve McCartan and all those kind of guys. And that was fabulous. I mean, that was, all right, I've put a video here before. That was playing sports all day long, whether it's basketball, baseball, football, frisbee, golf, dirt bikes, making ramps, swimming, um, taking our bikes up to McDonald's and 7-Eleven. I mean, it was just like the movie Sandlot. Just get into trouble, get into adventures, people falling in ice as we walk over a creek and people getting drenched and having to go home, or Christian breaking his leg going across the highway, getting hit by a truck. I mean, just all sorts of trouble, but fun the whole way, right? And kind of living out of, I would call it living out of like three people's homes. So, we pretty much lived out of the Bovinets, our house, and the Words house. Swimming at the Words and the Bovinets, and camping out and sleepovers at our house, and yeah, all that kind of good stuff. But so what's one thing I would change? I mean, I guess I could get nitpicky and be like, hey, when I was 16, I would have liked to have a cooler car. Um, but I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't. Maybe it worked just fine. I mean, I probably did hate that. Yeah. Because I did have to park next to people every day so that I could get a jump from them, because my car wouldn't, the alternator wasn't charging the battery, and blah, blah, blah. I had to get a jump every single day, and it backfired at every at every shift. It was a manual. It was a Datsun 210, had 72 horsepower, so it was miserable. But I mean, I guess get rid of that, but it sure did make me like nice cars and appreciate them. I mean, that was the first thing I bought when I got out of college. Is I went and I found myself a Volkswagen Jetta. I saw them on the road and I was like, man, those things are so cool. I want a black one. And I graduated college and got my first job, and that was what I went and got. It was $424 a month for a brand new car. And I thought it was the best thing in the world. I don't even know if I asked what the finance rate was or anything. All I knew is if I stayed under 450 or 500 bucks, I would do whatever I could. Luckily, I had a place that we were living that I was paying $100 a month for my rent. So I paid 100 for my rent and $424 for my car. But that's how much I liked it. So back to the question: would I change anything? Or what would I change about my childhood? I mean, sure. I guess I'd like to have rich parents, but I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't make me who I was today. But sure, it'd be great if we were like, hey, we're gonna go travel this summer to Paris. But probably I wouldn't have liked that, because I love the summers and playing with all the kids in the neighborhood, playing baseball every single day and swimming every day and riding our bikes to 7-Eleven. Um, I didn't like when we would go out of town because I knew that I was missing like playing baseball and jailbreak at night. And I hated when the Words were out of town, because then we couldn't play because there were three of them, and Josh and I, there were two of us. With five of us, we could kind of play no matter what. But you added a bunch of other guys. But if one of either us, the Lewises, or them, the Words were gone, and you had to really scrounge up a game. You had to really make sure that, like, hey, call Carl, call Phil, call Steve, call all those guys, and make sure we can still get a game. of something. But so I don't know. I don't know if I would have changed anything. If we were rich, we'd have probably traveled more, and I probably wouldn't have liked that. Um, what's something else that I would change? I can't think of anything. I don't think I'd change anything. I didn't have anything that ever happened bad. And so, I mean, of course there were Christian Break getting hit by a semi truck was bad, and he broke his leg, and he was out for an entire summer and couldn't play, couldn't do anything. Ryan Word went over a bike ramp and went over face first and had his mouth wired shut for a while. I mean, there were bad things like that, but people got hurt. You know, I broke my finger on Phil Coulson's trampoline that he when he got it brand new, and after about a month, we were playing crack the egg or something, and yeah, broke my finger. Um, I can't think of anything I would change. It was just, yeah, we just played all day long from 9 o'clock in the morning till 11 o'clock at night. You know, once it got dark, we played jailbreak. We played jailbreak for 2 or 3 hours. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, we went on some vacations. We went to vacation Bible schools, and you know, yeah, we had two neighbors that had pools, so that was great. Sometimes we'd go up to the Centennial pool, the Blue Spring City pool, but not very often because we had pools right there. Um, so we were great swimmers, and so we were well off enough to be able to go to the Lake of the Ozarks every summer, and people would have boats, John Cornick and Mark Rains, and our access to boats or whatever it was. But so we were good swimmers, so we could get out into the lake and ski and kneeboard and you know do all that kind of fun stuff. Um, I don't know, kind of seemed idyllic. Really, I don't think there's anything. I think that's the video. This video could have been 30 seconds long, and I could have said, "Hey, I wouldn't change a thing. It was great. It was perfect." And us guys that lived through that, we say that like Josh, Ryan Word. We've had conversations like nobody had a better childhood than we had. Like we had the perfect childhood, and I would have to agree. I just would. It was just really, really good. Um, yeah, I wish I had something more to say to this because I did love my childhood so much. I could talk and go on and on about it, how great it was. But um, I think that's all it was. We had great neighbors. And it wasn't like our families and everybody got together and, had powwows or dinners or anything. But everybody just let us. And even the people that didn't have kids, they were fine with letting the neighborhood kids play in their yards. We played baseball in the circle, with aluminum baseball bats, but with tennis balls. And we would hit balls off of their house, and nobody like yelled or complained. I think because everybody's house was getting pelted, so they want to be the one that said like, "Hey, stop hitting my house with a freaking tennis ball." But they just let us. Some of the neighbors that were older that lived, I would call it left field and shortstop, they would sit out on their front porch and watch us play baseball. So I don't know, it just seemed very, very perfect. So, I mean, Josh and I always make fun of Kit and Katie for being there. They were the rich family, when it was mom and dad and those two. And Josh and I and mom and dad were the poor family, because they didn't have money when we were growing up. They had money when Kit and Katie were around. And, because, my parents were young, they're the youngest parents that I know of, really. I mean, my mom had me when she was 19. They got married when mom was 18. And so it made for, yeah, I mean, I graduated high school. Dad would have been 38, right? So you're just kind of getting into the good career years. So, yeah, we were poor the whole time when I graduated high school. Now, Katie came along 11, 12 years later. Yeah, so when she graduated, Dad was 52 or 53, something like that. And yeah, they had more money. Dad had a better job. He was working PBI Gordon, making good money. Yeah, their life was different. But I would say that our lives were better. And probably just the time period of going out and doing everything you want, anytime you want, staying outside all day. parents never knowing where you were, and it was perfectly fine. So, but yeah, back to the question: would I change anything? No. Maybe a better car, but not that good a car. Maybe just a car that I didn't need to jump every day after school and that didn't backfire every time, and that could get up the hill turning left out of Heatherwood. That would have been cool. I mean, I couldn't driving up the hill to Heatherwood or from Heatherwood up to the to 7 Highway, on Duncan Road. Yeah, I couldn't get above 20 miles an hour. It was just too uphill, and that car had 72 horsepower. Right? There are, lawnmowers that are getting close to that. So nowadays, but besides that, yeah, I would have loved to have had. I had a '79 Datsun 210. Yeah, if I'd have had a '84 Honda Accord, I didn't need anything nice. Just something that started and could go the speed limit. That'd have been cool. But so that's my only thing I would change is maybe that. But yeah, that's a small thing. So it was actually funny. I mean, everybody made fun of the car, but everybody. I also took home a lot of people from school every day, and they thought it was hilarious that we'd pass a guy running on the road, and I could always just downshift and it would backfire and scare the hell out of that guy. And we all thought that was hilarious. And so that was the only good part, is that sometimes it was funny. I mean, sometimes I would take home, Colin Sloan and I might take home, 5 different girls, and we thought that was hilarious. I don't know why they went with us, but it was a funny car. So maybe it worked out, right? So maybe it wasn't that I needed anything else. It was fine. But that's one other thing. Everything else, yeah, perfect. So nothing else. So that's all I got. See you guys.